Hey everybody, Will Love here, and I'm glad you came by again today. I wanted to share with you some time that my wife and I spent together. And you know, my wife is kind of shy, so you may not really see her on camera. And but I wanted to share with you just a little bit about our background and kind of share with you something that we were just kind of hanging out. We're actually hanging out in Whole Foods and sharing some information just about, we were talking about favor versus finance. And I thought that what she had to say was pretty interesting and very powerful. It was a lot more she had to say, but I can't put all of it, here for you. But I just wanted to share a little bit of it with you. We come from a background, both of us were raised in the church, and my mother's a minister, and her father was a trustee and a deacon, and so we kind of been raised in that background church. So I went to a Christian school, and then I stayed in church. I went to public school after that. I went to church, stayed in church all that time until I got into college and transitioning from being independent and so forth and so on. And then obviously I came back to what I knew that God wanted me to do and where it wanted me to be. However, both of us had experienced some things in church where we had been taken advantage of. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I want to share with you our story. And this is a brief telling of it. We were just kind of taken advantage of, abused by church abuse. And I know a lot of people that has happened to. And we'd done things that we knew that probably not at the time knew that God really hadn't told us to do. But we did it out of the kindness of our heart, and people took advantage of it. So you'll get a little taste of that in this video. But I wanted to share it with you because, one, you get to see my wife, and she's very serious in this video because it was something that really hit us traumatically and something that she really feels strongly about. But she is very, very loving and lighthearted, and you'll get to see that over time. So take a look at this video. Inspiring Ministries, Will Love. Take a look. Bye-bye.
Financial, where you are financially, so your tithing can come from, it could come from anything. It could come from anything. God, I don't have it. This is what I can give you. And He knows that if you're telling the truth. He knows.
So it's just about giving your way out. When you talk about somebody who comes to you and they're operating in deception, they say, well, give your way out, because if you give, God's going to honor that, and you're going to be able to benefit from that. So give to me.
Unless God specifically, directly spoke to an individual saying, okay, I need you to give, because He's going to tell them before He tells the person to give.
He's going to tell who?
He's going to tell the person that whoever is speaking to you saying, give your way, like God said, for you to give me $100. Don't you think that the person would have heard it from God already, or would have been confirmation?
You're talking about the person who was instructed to give would hear it first before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this whole giving thing, people have taken it, it's a selfish act, I think. And they use the word and they turn the word around just to fit whatever their needs are at that moment. That's just my personal opinion. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then God will correct me.
No, I don't think you're wrong in the aspect. I think you can give your way to a blessing. I think you can give your way out of situations because, the word of God says that reciprocity, law of reciprocity that's just what it is. Better to give than to receive. Give, and the windows of heaven will be opened up to you that you may part. All those things, pressed down, shaken together, running over, all those things are true and real. I think just like anything, and just like any of the word, people have taken it and they've used it for their own benefit, and they've abused people with it.
However, if your intentions are not right in the giving, and God will know that because He speaks to the heart. He knows our heart. So if your intentions aren't right from the beginning and you're giving because you're trying to use God for something, then that is incorrect.
Right. If you're giving only to get.
Right, and that's why
but not out of obedience.
Right, and that's when I say that people try to give their way out of a situation. That's what I mean by that. If your giving is not right, then it's null and void. I mean, we've made some horrible decisions about giving to people, and it was because maybe God wasn't telling us to give. It wasn't that we were giving to receive anything. It's just that we were giving because maybe God didn't want us to give to that individual because he was taking them through a process, and we could have been hindering the process by giving or bailing out.
And that's what we talked about before. We talked about just giving to people, and we're hindering, like you just said, hindering their process, hindering their blessing, because we're trying to fix something that God can only fix. And we see the need, and because we have it, we've given. And you talk about sowing your, casting your pearls to swine, and sowing on hard, dry ground. I mean, that's when I got that revelation, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So.
We sowed a lot of stony seeds, seeds that fell on stony ground and crumbled into nothing. However, our intentions were good and pure. And for me, you know how I feel about giving. I think that finances, I think that favor is better than finances. And if God chooses to reward you financially, then that's a great thing. However, I'll take his favor any day.
You know, like this.
Any day. I'll take God's favor any day. Favor will get you much further than finance.
That's a good word. That's going on Inspiring Ministries. Thank you so much, Michelle Love, Inspiring Ministries.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.